what is the matter with that door? Uncle Martin, what is going on around here?
Can't you hear it?
Well, I'll admit that it's rough on the eardrums, but...
Tim, it just isn't the eardrums. It's...
You know, for a minute there, I thought...
that you could see right through.
Hey.
It's Mrs. Brown's violin. When she plays that one abominable note, my normal three-dimensional self short-circuits with my non-dimensional self. Result, I alternate between the two so rapidly I appear transparent.
Do you mean that this happens every time a Martian hears a horrible violinist?
It's not the violinist. It's the violin. And I haven't heard one that deplorable in 300 years. I'll never forget that violin maker, Antonio Stradivari. He made the worst...
Stradivarius?
Stradivari. Stradivarius is the violin he made. It was the worst.
Oh, come on now, Uncle Martin. Everyone knows that he made the greatest violins that the world has ever heard.
Of course he did. After I showed him. It was self-preservation. Losing fight, Tim. If we can't discourage Mrs. Brown's interest in the violin, I'm afraid I'm going to have to find another place to live.
Oh, come on, Uncle Martin. You can always wear earplugs.
It has nothing to do with hearing. It's my entire nervous system. A violin has a very strong, penetrating sound. It's been known to shatter glass.
Oh,
dear. Did I do that?
It's all right, Miss Brown. I got another pair of glasses. Now this time, you play not so loud, eh? You see that the P there? That means pianissimo. Soft. Soft. Piano. Piano.
Piano. Oh. Dear, did I do that?
No. That's my boy Giovanni. Piano. Ma che posso fare? Giovanni, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Johnny, Pop. When are you gonna call me Johnny?
What kind of name is that for a violin maker? You, Giovanni Amalfi.
Pop, when are you gonna give it up? You know, if they accept me for that job in New York with Consolidated General Music, I'm gonna take it.
Giovanni, who's gonna make Amalfi violins after me?
Pop, face it. Somewhere along the line, we lost the touch. Amalfi violins haven't got it anymore. You're lucky you can give them as loaners to your students. And what kind of success are we running when you have to give lessons to stay in business? I can't build a future on that.
But Giovanni, sooner or later, there's got to come out a great violin.
I think we're closer to a great secret weapon.
Piano. My, what a nice surprise. Come on in.
I hope we're not interrupting.
Oh, no. If you don't mind listening while I practice. I'm trying to learn to play piano.
piano?
Yes, and it's not easy on the violin. Oh, I think everyone should find a way to express himself. I found mine. This is the real me.
Yes, so we've heard.
Well, of course, I'm just beginning, and I know it's going to take practice, practice, and more practice.
Well, then, since we're going to have a virtuoso in our midst, we'll confess. We actually came down so that we might, hear you play.
We did. Oh, yes, we did.
Oh, well, I am just beginning.
Oh, in that case.
Oh, but I do know this one piece. Oh, good grief, it broke. It's not even my violin. Oh, dear.
Oh, now, Mrs. Brown, it's just the strings.
Well, can it be fixed?
Well, Tim used to play, didn't you, Tim? And I believe that we have some violin strings upstairs. Don't we, Tim?
Violin strings? Violin? Oh, yes, yes. Yes, I have a whole ball of them upstairs in the kitchen drawer.
If you'll permit me, I know a little something about violins. I'll have this back for you tomorrow. Good as new. Maybe better.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Your uncle is such a comfort to have around.
Yes, he's a solid citizen.
Yes, I hope we'll be able to keep it that way.
All that to fix violin strings?
That was a ruse, Tim. I'm rebuilding the entire instrument so that it can no longer produce that transparency harmonic. I knew instantly that we couldn't get her to change her mind about playing.
Oh? Well, what made you so sure?
Her mind told me there's an opening for a lady violinist in the Lonely Hearts Little Symphony.
Mrs. Brown wants to play in an orchestra?
Very badly.
Yeah, she'll do that all right.
There we are. Now, it's ready to be returned.
Well, doesn't the glue take time to dry?
Earth glue takes time to dry. Not bad. Basically, the Amalfi is a fine instrument, merely suffering from the improper positioning of the bass bar and the sound post. Not a touch of transparency. Solid 3D me.
Molto bene.
Thank you.
You know, you sounded as good as Heifetz.
Actually, I sounded better, but only because Heifetz has an inferior violin. His is only a Stradivari.
That's better?
While I was at it, I made a few minor adjustments.
Yeah, well, I believe you. But look, do you think it's wise to actually make it sound that good?
With Mrs. Brown playing, who'll know the difference?
But Giovanni, you listen to your papa. It's the future in Amalfi, understand? Amalfi is a good violin. All we need is to find the secret, and we're going to. I'm feel it.
Pop, look, this is a real job. It's the future.
But Giovanni.
I'm sorry, Papa. I gotta pick up my plane ticket. I'll come back for you later, okay?
Never mind, you come back for me.
Oh, buongiorno, Mr. Amalfi.
Buongiorno, Mrs. Brown.
Well, I'm all tuned up and ready for you.
I'm ready for you, too. All right, now. 1 and a 2 and that son of mine. 1 and a 2 and the bambino mio. 1 and a 2 and maybe he's right.
Are you talking to me, Mr. Amalfi?
Maybe Amalfi never make a good violin again.
Mr. Amalfi!
Mrs. Brown, that's fine, but you forget to look at the music. Yes, that's right. 1 and a 2 and a...
1.
Something wrong?
It's my ears. I'm hear things. Violins.
Meu Marciano. O American. Muitos truques e magia.
You hear? Notes like that don't ever come from a violin I'm a make. Something is happening to him.
You don't think that I...
You do something.
Oh, no. Really, Mr. Amalfi?
Mrs. Brown, please. Something you do to this violin, I got to know what it is. Please, you just got to remember.
Oh, all right, I'll tell you.
What?
I broke the string.
You broke the string?
Well, I didn't mean to, honestly. I didn't think that you'd notice. Well, I thought Mr. O'Hara fixed it very nicely, and it sounded as good as new.
Who's the fix? Mr. O'Hara. Who's this Mr. O'Hara?
Well, Mr. O'Hara, he lives upstairs. Oh, he can fix anything.
Oh, genius. Another Leonardo. And you say he's living right upstairs?
Yes, over the garage.
Oh, over the garage. Look where he's got to live. Oh, thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you. Oh, tante grazie. Oh, che bella, mamma mia.
Picking up anything, Uncle Martin?
Tim, I cannot afford to be associated with that violin. Obviously, there are certain questions it might be incriminating for me to answer.
Oh, yeah. Like, who taught Stradivari? Or, where were you on the night of October 17th, 1684?
Exactly. So I shall now leave the premises. And I would appreciate it if you would get Mr. Amalfi to do the same as quickly as possible.
Who?
Mr. O'Hara?
Yeah.
Mr. O'Hara, what you've done. And such a young man, too. And you're not even Italian.
Oh, well, just a minute, Mr.
Amalfi, of Amalfi and Son, since 1680. Oh, Mr. O'Hara, please, you got to help me.
Help you do what?
Fix the violins, like you do Mr. Brown's.
Oh, that! Oh, well, that was my uncle.
Your uncle? Oh, well, then your uncle, he's got to help me.
Oh, well, you see, he's not here right now. I don't even know when he's going to be back.
Oh, Mr. O'Hara, please. Amalfi and Son is a great name. Until it's my name. Now, it's just another number in the telephone book.
Please don't think that I don't understand.
It's how you understand. Please. If your uncle, he's telling me he's a great secret, you tell him, I know got very much, but I will give him everything I own.
Well, all he did was replace the strings. But who made the violin in the first place?
I'm making my shop.
Uh-huh.
You trying to tell me that I'm a make an instrument and he's a make of this sound? Me?
It's not impossible.
Who say? After all these years, I'm a trip over the secret.
Why not?
Why not? It's what I've been working for.
Well, then that's it.
Well, how you like that? I'ma do it. But I don't know what I'ma do. But hey, I do it once, I can do it again. Huh?
Right, think positively.
Positively.
Poor guy.
Yeah. It certainly is, and I'm thoroughly ashamed of myself, Tim.
Oh, well, Uncle Martin, look, if he thinks he's great, maybe it'll give him confidence. Maybe he'll become great.
He'll take that violin back to his shop and try to figure out what he did right. He didn't do anything right. It'll break his spirit completely.
Don't blame yourself, Uncle Martin. We meant well.
Yeah, exactly what Frank James tried to tell me about Jesse. No, he's my responsibility now, Tim. I've got to do something for that man. He now believes that he created that violin, but we know he didn't and couldn't.
You mean, you can't turn a sow's ear into a silk purse?
Of course you can, by merely rearranging the molecular structure. But that has nothing to do with the problem. Or has it?
Uncle Martin, you don't mean you're thinking of rearranging him?
I'm thinking of working with what he already has, which should be enough. He's a good craftsman.
But, Uncle Martin, he's no genius.
That's right, Tim. But we know who is.
Now, all you Amalfis, you listen. All this time, I no can face you. But now, I'm gonna look right into your eyes, and you gonna...
What's he say?
He's talking to himself. No, not to himself. To his ancestors.
You hear that? You, Pasquale, you, Dominic, you think you're such a hot stuff. You always look down your nose at me, eh? But you ever make a violin sound like that, eh? And you, great-grandpapa Giuseppe, you're proud of me now, huh? And you gonna be proud of my boy Giovanni, too. Amalfi and Son is gonna be right on top again, like Amati and Guanari. Yes, and even Stradivari. If only I can figure out how I'm gonna make him come out like this. But I gotta do it. I gotta think positive. Just you watch me.
All right, now, you stay here and keep anyone, especially his son, from intruding. That man needs a helping hand, and desperately.
Oh, the fine Italian hand of Martin O'Hara?
See? Now, if I can only get his hands to move the right way.
Hey, you, sir. You go where I'm pushing you.
Mr. Amalfi? Yes? I'm O'Hara of the Los Angeles Sun, you see, and I'd like to do a feature story on you.
On me? Well, thanks, but what for?
Yeah, well, it's not on you exactly, but, well, it's on the Amalfi family, but from your angle. Well, you know, the last of Amalfi and Son, the world's great violin maker.
What is this, a rip?
Well, don't you want the publicity?
Publicity? You ever hear two cats fighting? They've got more tone than one of our fiddles.
You're putting me on. I mean, the Amalfi, the great Amalfi violin.
Great, huh?
Yeah.
I hope you've got strong eardrums.
mean, what are you? Because you sure ain't a who.
I? Who am I? I, sir, am the ghost of the greatest violin maker of them all, Stradivari.
The ghost? Signor Stradivari?
I have been walking the earth and searching these 300 years. At last I found you.
Me? Why pick on me?
Because finally I have found a master who can create a violin as fine as mine.
Well, now, Mr. Ghost of Signor Stradivari, I gotta tell you something just between you and me and my family up there. I don't know what I'm gonna do different than when I'm gonna make that thing that's screaming out there.
I know, and that's why I have come. To tell you the great secret you have won the right to know.
You wanna tell me? Oh, Mr. Signor Stradivari, you're a good man. I mean, you're a good ghost. You save Amalfi and son.
No, I'm going to save the world from violins like that. You've got to promise to rebuild every violin in the shop so it sounds like this.
Oh, that not a promise. That a pleasure. You think I like to listen to that?
Good. Then here's all you have to do.
Mr. Murphy, you don't seem to fully appreciate what my newspaper...
Mr. O'Hara, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but the answer is still no.
And you must tell no one where you got this secret. Is that clear?
Oh, you betcha. Who's gonna believe I'm talking to a ghost? I don't believe it myself.
Then I will say farewell, Signor Amalfi, and good luck.
Amalfi and son is dead. Let it be buried.
Yeah, no.
He's gone.
Who are you talking to, Pop?
Oh, just to myself. That's how happy your papa is. Oh, Giovanni, I gotta tell you, Amalfi is a great violin maker again. We got the secret. I told you it'd come back.
Pop, don't try and talk me or yourself into anything, huh?
You do what you want, and I'm not talking nobody into nothing. You just listen. I'm gonna show you something for your own ears.
Pop, will you listen to me for a second?
You listen. Well, what do you hear?
Stradivarius.
No, it's not the Stradivarius, but an Amalfi. You see right there, it says Amalfi. I'm gonna make a whole shop full like this one. And violinists, they're gonna be proud to play a violin made by Amalfi.
No, Pop, not Amalfi.
What do you mean, no Amalfi?
Amalfi and son.
Giovanni.
Say, Uncle Martin. Guess what?
All right. You just met Mrs. Brown, and because the Amalfi violins have gone up in value and price, she has given up the violin completely.
Spoiled sport. No. Anyway, you ought to feel good. With no more violins around, you don't have to worry about people suddenly seeing through you.
And I'm also grateful that Mrs. Brown didn't dig up another horrible violin to torture my nervous system.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.